Manalangin po tayo. Dakilang Panginoon Diyos, may-ari ng sanlibutan, pinupuri namin ang iyong pangalan. Kami nagpapasalamat sa panalangin at gabay na ibinigay mo sa amin. Salamat sa panibagong araw na ipinagkaloob mo. Salamat din sa pagkakataon na ibinigay mo upang kami ay muling magtipon para sa panibagong kaalaman. Kami po ay humihiling na nawa po ay gabayan mo po kami sa aming pag-aaral at bigyan mo po kami ng makalangit na kaalaman at lakas upang kami ay matuto. At nawa po ang lahat ng aming matutunan ay magamit namin sa pagtulong sa aming kapwa. Patawarin mo po kami sa aming mga kasalanan at nawa po ang lahat ng aming gagawin ay maging alinsunod sa iyong kautusan. Ang lahat ng ito ay aming sinasamo sa ngalan ng aming Panginoong Hesus. Amen. Magandang umaga po sa lahat ng mga kadete nationwide from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Sa lahat po ng mga deans, mga faculty and staff, mga professors po natin sa criminology, pati na po yung mga review lecturers natin in various review centers. Sa lahat po ng mga estudyante natin, mga takers sa criminologist licensure examination, especially shout out po sa mga self-review lang, okay? No worries po, andito po ang Bikoyno para po mag-guide po sa inyo. So again, sa lahat po, welcome po sa Bikoyno, ang platform po sa YouTube na nagbibigay ng libre, walang bayad, but comprehensive discussion. Ang topic po natin this day is about investigative report writing and presentation. Isa po ito sa mga subjects under CDI. Okay? Now, before anything else, mga kadete, mga takers, kindly give me a little time. Again, I'd like to promote, especially yung mga new subscribers po natin, new listeners po, or new viewers po natin. I'd like to promote again po yung Bikoyno review materials po natin. Isa po itong libro that comprises 2 volumes. Volume 1 po, yung lahat ng review materials sa lahat po ng subjects na naka-arrange na po into 6 major areas. Updated po yan. Align na din po sa latest table of specification. Yung volume 2 po, andyan po yung question and answer portion. And these questions were taken from the previous criminologist licensure examination. So pag mag-practice po kayo, mas okay po that you can actually avail on the book. Pero again reminder sa lahat, do not concentrate on the question and answer portion. The Q&A is just something, a mechanism to test your analytical skills, your comprehensive skills sa pag-answer ng board examination. But do not rely too much on the Q&A. But you have to rely instead on the review materials. Okay? So, nakakompile na po yan, yung 2 volumes into 1 book. So, makikita nyo po sa screen nyo, yan po ang cover. Yung sa left side po, yan po ang cover. Yung sa right side po, yan po ang exact product po ng libro po natin. Pwede po tayo makapag-ship anywhere po sa Pilipinas. But as of this day, as of the publication of this video, wala pa po tayo sa Shopee kasi po yung Shopee and Lazada medyo may kamahalan. So, to make it a little bit cheaper, you can contact me via Facebook or via Messenger. Alright? Maraming salamat po sa pakikinig ha. Maraming salamat din po sa nag-a-avail. Alright? Again, ang subject is investigative report writing and presentation. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng investigative report? From the word investigation, ibig sabihin, investigation meaning may fact-finding ka. May fact-finding inquiry. So, ang investigative report, ito po ay isang dokumento na nagdidetalye kung ano ang resulta ng investigasyon mo pagkatapos nang nakapag-file ka ng formal complaint. By the way mga kadete, iba ang complaint, iba ang information. When we say complaint po, sa Fundamentals of Criminal Investigation, ito po yung written accusation furnished by the complainant. While yung information on the other hand is a written accusation furnished by the prosecutor. Ang pagkakaiba po sa dalawa kung sino ang nag-furnished. Sino ang gumawa. Sa complaint, ang gumawa yung complainant. So pag police officer ka, ikaw yung complainant, o di, you furnished a written accusation, you call it as complaint. Pero pag may probable cause, yung prosecutor gagawa siya ng written accusation in the form of an information. So, ang tawag po sa dokumento na ginawa ng isang investigator para magdetalye kung ano po bang resulta sa investigasyon na ginawa niya, ang tawag po dyan, investigative report. Now, mga kadete, ang tatlong important terms, supposedly I should not include this. Pero, nangyari po kasi December 2022 na board examination, lumabas po kasi ang antonyms, synonyms, and homonyms. Kaya, ang ginawa ko, I have to update my review material again. So, ito po ha. Napaka-basic, di ba, sa high school natin? I think we already know about this. Pag antonyms, ito po yung words with opposite meaning. Ano ba yung opposite ng black? Hindi white, right? Ano ba yung opposite ng big? Hindi small, right? So, antonyms po ang tawag dyan. Synonyms, on the other hand, words with the same meaning. For example, hatred. Ang hatred po, ang ginamit po natin in the police blotter is not hatred, but grudge. Okay? Grudge. Right? So, synonyms. Iba-iba yung spelling, pero iba-iba yung spelling, pero they are the same in terms of the meaning. Homonyms, on the other hand, ito po yung words with familiar sound or pronunciation, but similar sounds or pronunciation, but with different spelling and meaning. Okay? Example po nito, yung sabihin nating say or see. So, similar yung pronunciations, pero iba yung spelling and yung meaning iba din po. Ang tawag nito, homonyms. Alright? Next, police sentence. Ang police sentence po is a grammatically structured sentence with the subject and predicate with a distinctive use of police words, phrases, and clauses and other terminologies without being too technical, vulgar, and legal. Its vocabulary and diction conform with police functions. Ibig sabihin ng police sentence, unang phrase dyan, grammatically structured sentence. Ibig sabihin po, dapat we have to be very meticulous in writing our report. Dapat grammatically correct po yan. Kaya importante sa mga estudyante right now, kindly enhance. Let us enhance our English communication. Whether we like it or not, communication is the official language na nagagamitin po natin in law enforcement agencies, whether we like it or not. Let us stop speaking probably in vernacular. Let us practice speaking in English. Sa mga professor po natin, lecturers po, kung maaari po, let us encourage everyone to speak, to express their ideas in English. Yan po, very important po ang English communication dito. Kasi po, pag ang English communication natin medyo very poor, there might be a big possibility na pag grammatically incorrect po yung pag-construct natin sa sentence, sometimes the complainant magiging accused or yung accused magiging complainant. Let me cite one experience. Nung nagtuturo po ako in one of the schools in Dumaguete City, nagpa-part-time po ako sa isang eskwelahan, there was an instance that I asked the students to write a blotter. And I was serving during that time as a complainant. So we were pretending that I was a complainant and they were the desk officers that will put the complaint into the blotter. So ang sabi ko po, ito po yung complaint ko sa kanila. Inilagay ko yung cellphone on top of the table. Sa taas ng lamesa, inilagay ko yung cellphone. Pagbalik ko, nawala na. Alam niyo po, pagdating sa police blotter na sinulat nila, nakita ko po doon, may entry number, may date, Tapos facts of the case nakalagay doon, I put my cellphone on the table, I come back, no more. So basically, reading on that particular output made me ponder that there is a need for criminology students to really enhance English communication. The way they will write, the way they will speak, the way they will communicate, it has to be enhanced. So, I'd like to take a plea sa mga instructors po natin. Let us encourage ourselves and our students to communicate in English language. Kasi po, whether we like it or not, when they will be working in the tribe bureaus, the official language of communication is English po. So, okay naman po pag magtatagalog, no problem with it. Pero again po, ang medium of communication, pag andun na po sila, when they will write something, a report, it has to be in English. And we do not want to be, to be put in a limelight because somebody, a criminologist, does not know how to communicate it well. So, dapat makipag-compete po tayo in other courses. We have to speak, to think, to utter our ideas in English language. Okay? Grammatically structured sentence po siya. And then the sentence will contain words that are only distinctive to the police work. May mga terms po kasi tayo that are very unique and can only be understood in the police parlance or even in the criminology world. For example, pag sabihin nating rabbit, di ba? Pag sabihin nating rabbit, if you will ask a non-criminology graduate, pag sabihin rabbit, they will say it's an animal, right? Pero sa atin sa criminology, ang rabbit po will refer to the subject of the tailing or the subject of the surveillance, right? Pag sabihin natin intelligence in the education world can be defined as the capacity of the person to analyze or to comprehend, right? That's intelligence. But intelligence in the criminology world does not mean the same thing. Because intelligence would be the collection, the evaluation of raw information. The purpose thereof is to analyze, to evaluate it in order to come up with a timely decision making. Iba-iba po kasi. So in the same manner, there are words and phrases that can only be distinct, that are very distinct and in consonance with the police work that can be used in writing a report. Phrases, clauses, but you have to remember the clauses and the phrases that we are going to use in our report, it should not be too technical. Not vulgar. Ano ba yung vulgar? Yung mga inappropriate words. For example, ilagay natin doon, instead of marijuana, ilagay natin doon weeds or sagbot. That's not, in Cebuano, shabu is referred to as butang. We do not use jargons or vulgar words. It must not be too legal, and its vocabulary and the use of word or diction should conform with police function. Yan po ang police sentence. Next, other important terms, we have introductory paragraph. Ano ba yung introductory paragraph? Ito yung pinakaunang paragraph in a police report writing. It readily informs the reader on the type of report and its subject. Next, punctuation. Ang punctuation po, that will include spacing. Pati na yung period, pati na yung comma, and certain typographical devices as aids to understanding and correct reading of written text, whether read silently or aloud. Ang tawag po dyan, punctuation. On the other hand, we also have chronological order. When we say chronological, ibig sabihin, pasunod, sunod-sunod, in order. So meaning, the arrangement of events or actions should be in order by the time of occurrence. Meaning, pag nagsulat ka ngayon ng police blotter or investigative report, the chronological order shall be in accordance to the time. Do not forget it. So kung anong nangyari sa 7 o'clock, that should be the first. In comparison to 7:05, then 7 o'clock, the events that happened thereof will be the first in order. The first paragraph or the first statement that shall be included in the report. Since the second circumstance or event happened in 705, then it has to be the second. Dapat sunod-sunod po yung or in order po yung paggagawa according again to the time. Next, coherence. Ano ibig sabihin ng coherence? Ibig sabihin, logically consistent. Consistent ka dapat ha? From the word coherent, dapat consistent so that all the separate facts of information fit together and add up to a harmonious or credible whole report. Yun po ang sabi ko kanina. Pag ang pangalan ng accused, Juan de la Cruz, then the entire report should refer Juan de la Cruz as the accused. Pag ang complainant si Pedro, dapat yung whole report will pertain Pedro as the complainant. Kasi pag mali-mali yung pagagawa natin, si Juan de la Cruz ang nagawa ang naging complainant, tapos on the later paragraph naging accused na siya, nako. Magka-problema tayo. There will be complications along the way. It is the quality of being logical and it has to be consistent po tayo sa facts po natin. Now, ano bang ibig sabihin ng facts? Right? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng facts? Ito po ay anything which either through careful observation or investigation has been proven to exist or has happened. Ibig sabihin, ang isang bagay po matatawag siyang fact if in case upon examination or observation or investigation, that certain thing was proven to exist or has happened. Pero hindi po yan. Ano bang opposite ng fact? Ang fact, dapat it has proven to exist. Pag ang isang bagay is not proven to exist, what do you call it? You call it as hearsay. Right? It is a hearsay. It is a rumor because it is proven not to be true. Pero pag proven that a particular thing is considered to exist or has happened, ang tawag po dyan, fact. Okay? Next, jargon. Ito po ay mga language or a technical term that is used by a group or profession where the words and meanings are not mostly understood by other people. Tawag po dyan, jargons. Iba po yung mga terms ng mga lawyer, right? Iba din po ang terms ng mga education. Iba ang terms ng mga criminology. Iba din po ang terms ng CBA. Kaya nga po, sabi ko kanina, pag sabihin nating rabbit, education student might think that it is an animal. Pero sa atin, pag rabbit po, ano ba yon? Rabbit would refer to the subject of the surveillance or the tailing or shadowing. When we speak, like we say, nolum crimen nola puina sinelehe. Will the people that are non-criminologists like education, CBA, agriculture will understand it? Of course not. Because it's basically a jargon that is only common to criminologists or lawyers. When we say material crime, formal crime, when we say quasi-recidivist, recidivist, or you will say habitual delinquent, these are terms that are only common, jargons that are only common within our profession that could not or might be difficult to be understood by other professions. Pag sabihin natin post, di ba? Pag magtanong ka ngayon sa girlfriend mo na hindi criminology, sabihin mo, love. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng post? O sabihin niya ngayon, poste. Di ba? Poste. Pero ikaw, you know that post would refer to the area of your duty. So iba-iba po yung jargons po natin. Alright? Okay. Next. Report writing. It is a communication that lends itself to a useful tool for people in a free society to express their thoughts and ideas. So basically, when we say report writing, from the word writing, it's just an act to express your thoughts or your ideas. Writing is an act. It is a process of expressing what is in your mind. When you express when you express your ideas, when you express your opinions, your thoughts about something, it's writing. Okay, it's writing. If the writing is something that is intended to be submitted to higher ups or to the authorities that is above you, then that writing is called as report writing. Okay? Next. So ano ba ngayon ang police report? Yung report writing, yung gumagawa ka para i-express mo yung ideas mo or kung ano yung nasa laman ng isip mo. Pero ano ba yung police report? Yung police report, ito yung pag-narrate mo sa mga nangyayari, yung facts discovered during the course of an investigation which serves as a permanent record for future reference. It deals with the story of action performed by the police personnel. So yun po, police report po yan. Yung pag-narrate mo sa mga nangyayari. Okay? So may dalawang general categories po tayo sa police report. Dalawa po yan ha. Una, yung basic or informal report. Pangalawa, investigative or formal report. Yung una, basic or informal, ito po yung a letter or memorandum or any one of many prescribed or used in day-to-day police operations. Yung ginagamit po natin every day. Most reports may be placed under this category. Police blotter, basic ba siya or formal? Ang answer po, basic. Yung ginagawa po natin, ha? Yung nagbablatter tayo, part po yan ng basic or informal report. On the other hand, ang investigative naman or formal report, ito yung report na nagka-cover all the exact and exhaustive narration of facts. For example, you want to report the findings of a certain massacre here in Negros Oriental, the Governor Digamo massacre in Pamplona, and you want to submit a report. Remember that this kind of report will suggest a full dress treatment. May cover siya, may title page, may letter of transmittal, may summary sheet, appendices, may index pa, may bibliography pa. Ang tawag dyan, investigative or formal report. But again, take note mga kadete, most of our reports that we are doing in the police station are considered to be basic or informal report. Okay? So, ang formal report or investigative report, tatlo po ang types niya. Depende po sa sunod-sunod or chronological order po nito. Ang initial report, ito po yung advance information on a new or fresh case assigned to an investigator submitted immediately after the conduct of an investigation. For example, pag may crime scene, pumunta ka doon, nag-i-investigate ka, after investigation, bumalik ka, gumawa ka ng report. Ang tawag po dyan, initial report. Alright? Progress report naman, pag may follow-up investigation ka. Kaya nga po, ang progress report, sometimes tinatawag yung follow-up report. Kasi ka, nagpa-follow up ka sa investigasyon na ginawa mo. Pero yung pinakaunang report na isinabit mo, initial report, the moment you are done submitting the initial report, there's a big possibility that you will conduct a follow-up investigation. Okay? So, ang report na yan is progress report. Ginagawa ang submission every time or whenever there is development or progress that is accomplished in a particular case. Okay? So, again, with common sense, ang progress report can be submitted twice, thrice, many times. Depende po sa progress ng investigation. On the other hand, yung final naman, ito na yung written and submitted whenever the case is solved or classified as closed. Ang report na ito, tinatawag siyang final report. Now, mga kadete, I'd like to clarify yung case solved and case cleared. Remember, in Introduction to Criminology, may tinatawag tayong crime solution efficiency and crime clearance efficiency. Ang crime solution, yung number of solved crimes. Ang crime clearance efficiency, yung number of cleared cases. Ano bang pinagkaiba sa dalawa? Now, once and for all, I'd like to clarify this, okay? Ang isang krimen, basahin ko po ha, ay makonsider siyang solved when the offender is identified, there is an evidence to charge him. Pangalawa, evidence to charge him. Pangatlo, the offender has been taken into custody. Pang-apat, the offender has been charged before the prosecutor's office or when some elements beyond police officer's control prevent the arrest of the offender. Ang tawag po dyan, case solved. On the other hand, pag ang isang kaso is no longer investigated or is not assigned to an investigator, ang tawag po dyan, case closed. Kasi, bakit case closed? Kasi nga, wala nang investigation na hindi na na-assign sa isang investigator. Case closed. Pero case solved, again, apat po ha. Una, na-identify yung offender. Pangatlo, may ebidensya. Pangalawa, may ebidensya. Pangatlo, he is taken into custody. Pang-apat, may complaint ka na charge na po before the prosecutor's office. Okay? Ang case cleared on the other hand, when at least one of the offenders has been identified, may ebidensya to charge the suspect, he has been charged at the prosecutor's office. Now, if you can notice, they only differ on one requirement. Ang requirement dito is the location of the offender. Sa case solved, klarong-klaro, pang-apat dyan, when the offender has been taken into custody. But in case cleared, hindi nakalagay that the suspect is taken into custody. So, for short, yung case solved and case cleared, they are similar in terms of the three requirements. There is a suspect being identified, may ebidensya, nakapag-file ka na ng complaint at the prosecutor's office. Case solved, tatlong elements na yan o tatlong requirements nasa case solved. Yung pang-apat dyan, yung custodia. Ibig sabihin, nasa jail yung suspect. Pero sa case cleared, tatlo lang. It does not mention about the custody. So for sure, the difference between the two is very simple. Where is the suspect? So sa case solved, the suspect is inside the jail. Sa case cleared, the suspect is still at large. Okay? Klaro po? Cleared, still at large. Pero, may mga pagkakataon na kahit at large ka pa lang, yung suspect, still the case is considered to be solved. Kailan mangyayari yan? Mangyayari yan if you exert an effort to arrest the guy, but then the effort becomes futile. Meaning, hindi successful. Nag-effort ka, nag-arrest ka. For example, pumunta ka doon, but the person escaped. You had an effort, the person escaped, the person is still at large, the case is considered to be solved. Kasi you exerted an effort to arrest the guy. Pero if you not exert an effort and the person is still at large, nasa community pa lang, ang kaso po is cleared. Klaro? Case cleared, case solved. Ano yung case closed? Case closed, hindi na po na-investigate, hindi na po naka-assign sa isang investigator. I hope klaro yan, mga kaditi ha. Next, mechanics of a good report. Tingnan natin yung mechanics. Una dito, accuracy. Dapat ha, it has to be in exact conformity to the facts. Ano ibig sabihin dyan? Dapat naka-align kung ano yung totoong nangyari. A fact is something that is objectively verified. Ano sabi na, ano ang definition kanina sa fact? These are something that was proven to exist by means of observation or investigation. Clarity, the language and format in one's report must be simple and direct to the point. Hindi kailangang dumating yung complainant sa opisina mo, ikaw yung desk officer, you do not need to translate what the complainant had give you or what the complainant said during the conversation between you and the complainant. You don't have to translate what he said. All you have to do is to to extract those important points and put it in a blotter. Hindi lahat. Kasi pag nagta-translate ka, yung translation mo, inilagay mo sa police blotter, nako, posibleng hindi simple yung pagka-present ng police blotter. Clarity means clear and evident. Next, completeness. O ito ha, sa report natin, investigative report natin, sa police blotter natin, dapat present yung 5 Ws and 1 H. Ang 5 Ws and 1 H, tinatawag po itong cardinal points of investigation. Di ba mga kadete? Let us start with the Ws. What? What is what? Right? Ang what po refers to the nature of the crime. Ano ba ang krimen na nakomit? Nature of the crime. What? When, on the other hand, would refers to the time and the date that the crime was committed. Not the time and the date that the blotter was been written, but rather the time and the date that the crime happened. Yun po, when. Where would refer to the place where the crime happened. On the other hand, when you say why refers to the reason or motive in the commission of the crime. On the other hand, who on the other hand would refer to the identity not only to the suspects but also to the victims. Okay? What would refer to the nature of the crime, when would refer to the time and date, where would refer to the place, and why refers to the motive or the reason why the person committed it, and who would refer to the identity of the suspect and the victim. How, on the other hand, would answer the modus operandi or the mode of operation in the commission of the crime? Completeness. Ibig sabihin, dapat nasa report mo yan. Okay? Dapat, it's very basic rule of thumb na dapat yung 5 Ws and 1 H should be present. Okay? Next. The other mechanic is conciseness. Pareho lang yan, conciseness or brevity. This means that the report says much with few words as possible. It relates to the elimination of unnecessary words. Yung mga words na highfalutin that are no longer needed in the presentation of the report. No need na po, eliminate natin yan. Most sentences in police report will only consist 12 to 15 words. Okay? In one sentence. Next, factuality. One must report the facts correctly and without error. Inferences, hearsays, and personal opinions should be avoided. Kahit sinong Poncio Pilato pa ang pumunta sa iyo para magpa-blatter. You have to be factual, you have to be objective. There are certain cases kasi kapag ma-influensya yung complainant, sometimes you insert something that is not actually true. You insert something in order to favor the complainant. No. It has to be facts and it has to be without error. Next, objectivity. Ito, objectivity meaning you have to be a person who is a principled one, an independent in mind, that should be free from any emotional influence or probably personal prejudice or probably opinions. You have to be free from these negative factors. Kasi pag umiiyak yung complainant and you have been affected by your emotions kasi naaawa ka, so you make statements in your blatter that is favorable to the complainant, saying that the complainant was crying, you are not objective. Okay? Alright? So, yun po, objectivity po yan. Next, promptness and timeliness. Ito, pinaka-importante ito mga kadete. Kasi pag yung investigation natin, nakadak tayo ng investigation, pero hindi naman tayo nakapag-submit on time. For example, ilang araw ba para makapag-submit ka ng report sa korte pag binigyan ka ng task to execute the warrant of arrest? Di ba 10 araw? After 10 days, dapat nakapag-submit ka na ng report. So let us just say, isang year na lang ang lumipas, hindi ka pa nakapag-submit. Ako, makontempt ka dyan. So, importante that you have to. Kasi yung contempt ng korte, wala tayong laban dyan, mga kadete. So, dapat careful tayo sa timeliness. It has to be in a timely manner. As much as possible, the soonest possible time. May mga reglementary periods po kasi tayo. Alright? Na sinusunod po. Next, security must be considered classified, hence transmission, handling, An access should be limited only to police personnel who are granted by higher authority with security clearance. Ang ano po kasi dito, need to know basis po kasi tayo. So, pag ordinaryong citizen ka, tapos tanungin mo ngayon yung resulta or yung detalye sa massacre na nangyari sa Negros Oriental, you will not given a copy thereof because basically the report is considered to be classified. Pag nagpabablatter ka or yung kaibigan mo may blatter doon and you want to have a copy thereof, a blatter is considered to be a confidential in nature document. So you cannot have it. Right? Next, impartiality. Important data must not be omitted or added to conceal responsibilities, to impute liabilities, or to favor parties. When you say impartial, that means walang pabor-pabor. Walang favoritism. Okay? So, dapat you have to be at the middle only. Alright? Now, may mga pagkakataon po mga kadete that sometimes we tend to commit mistakes in writing the report. Especially pag police blatter yan. May mga certain cases po. Human beings as we are, we usually commit mistakes. Now, pag blatter po, ang una po, yung color ng ballpen natin should only be blue or black. Not red ha, not violet or purple. Pag may erasure po tayo, ganito po yung mechanics ha. Pag may changes po tayong gagawin. It shall be made by drawing a red ink line through the words or letters. Crash out natin. Linya ha. Through the words or letters to be corrected. And then, at the top, insert in red ink any correction or change. Okay? So, ano yung new word na ilagay natin? Now, hindi ka patapos. After that, yung initial, tsaka yung police serial number mo, or yung badge number ng isang nagko-correct, shall also be indicated in the red ink together with the date and time of the correction. Yun po ang SOP dapat. Yung initials mo, yung police, for example, in my case, Bimboy Cadallo Quino, I will put there BCC, my police serial number, yung time that I made the correction, so on and so forth. Yun po, ilagay ko po doon. Alright? Yun po ang proseso. Pero if you want, you redo. Kaya nga po, ang suggestion ko sa mga kaniti na baguhan po in making the police blatter, dapat po, you have to get scratch paper first. Yung scratch paper mo, doon mo ilagay. Doon ka po mag-draft ng police blatter mo. After looking at it, na perfect na siya, then you transfer it into the logbook. Okay? Avoid using slang language in the report. Ano ba yung slang? Ito yung mga informal na mga words and phrases that are more common in speech than writing and are typically restricted to a particular context or group of people. Yung mga slang language, mga informal na mga words, di po natin pwedeng gamitin yan. Or probably you will put weeds. Yun po, slang. It's a slang language. Or probably you will write there, may lakas na tama. Right? May lakas na the accused was seen to have been influenced with the lakas na tama na shabu. It's slang language. I mean, it's very informal to write it in a report. Okay? Next, steps in police writing. Ang pinakauna dito is interview. Now, mga kadete, may pagkakaiba kasi sa interview and interrogation. Ang interview po, ang subject of the questioning is the victim, right? Or the witnesses. Sa interrogation naman, ang subject of questioning are the suspects. Interrogation is basically the process of question or process of questioning a certain person who is reluctant to divulge the information. But in interview, you are questioning a person that is cooperating with the line of questioning. Sa interview, if you can still remember, sa fundamentals of criminal investigation, we follow the ironic format, right? Okay? Ano ba yung ironic format? I stands for identity. Ano ba yung identity? Ibig sabihin, you introduce yourself, I am Juan de la Cruz from this station. Yun po. Ang letter R stands for rapport. It does not It is not pronounced as rapport, ha? Pronunciation yan is rapport. Silent T po yan. Ano ibig sabihin ng rapport? You establish connection between you and the subject of the questions. Okay? You establish an atmosphere that is friendly. Kasi pag friendly yung atmosphere, there is a big possibility that the subject will actually talk. If the subject feel within himself that he is intimidated, nako, he will not talk. After all, that person has the right to remain silent. Pag nag-invoke yan ng right to remain silent, patay ka ngayon, wala kang interview magagawa. So establish a rapport, a connection between you and the guy. Probably you will say, tapos ka na bang kumain, pre? If you are not yet done with the breakfast, after this interview, we will eat. We will have snacks. Or probably you will say, sir, ano po ba yung apelyido mo? I happen to have a classmate before who has the same family name with you. Remember that questioning is an art. Investigation is an art. So, you find a way wherein you can establish a friendly atmosphere to the person that you will be questioning. Okay? Una, identity. Pangalawa, rapport. What is the next one? O would be opening statement. What does opening statement means? That means you state your reason why you are interviewing this guy. Okay? You state your reason. You might say, ini-interview kasi kita because you are the only person who saw the crime that happened. So probably you will be the key and you know na you have a duty that you have to take for the maintenance of peace and harmony within the community. Things like that. Opening statement. Right? Opening statement. Now, identity, rapport, opening statement, after opening statement, letter N would be narration. So meaning, in narration, you allow the person to talk with no interruption. Question, bakit hindi siya i-interrupt, sir? He should not be interrupted because if you will interrupt the person while he is narrating the facts, there might be cases that the transition of ideas from point A to point B will also be interrupted. Pag na-interrupt yung transition, there might be some details that might be omitted. Magtanong ka pag tapos na. Okay? Narration. After narration, you have another I. Doon ka na magtanong, inquiry na. Inquiry meaning you ask questions. Pag tapos na siya nakapag-narrate. And the last one, C, conclusion na. Ano ba yung findings mo? Right? Ironic format po yung pag-interview natin, ha? I, identity. R, rapport. O, opening statement. N, narration. I, inquiry. C, would be conclusion. Okay? Yun po ang format natin, ha? So, wag ka munang maggawa ng report, mag-interview ka muna. Ang problema kasi, while the person is speaking, you are also writing. I mean, yung multitasking can be done, pero especially pag investigative report yan, that could affect the quality of your report. Okay? So, number 2, note-taking. Dapat may notation ka. Of course, common sense would dictate na dapat may notation ka. Next, you organize. This refers to the arrangement of components which will create a structure. This allows the sequencing of the events to portray the incident clearly. Again, yung sequencing po natin is accordance to the time that the event happened. Next, writing the narrative. The first stage of police writing where the investigator expresses the facts in an organized manner with a goal to make an impression to the reader. And number 5, ito yung pinaka-last, proofreading. Ano yung proofreading? Meaning, you allow your work to be checked by somebody else. Okay? You allow, tawag po yan, verification. Right? So, after the report, pinabasa mo yan sa superior officer mo, sir, paki-check po, baka may mali po ako. So, that's proofreading. Baka may wrong grammars pa ako, sir, or wrong spelling. Kasi hindi naman tayo pwedeng ma-humiliate. Kaya sa mga criminologist dyan, ha, yung mga Facebook post kasi pinatamaan tayo in most of the times that criminology students are dull because we do not know how to speak in English. Wrong po. Unang argument ko dyan, English communication is not the only gauge in determining the intelligence of the person. You cannot measure intelligence of the person by means of English communication. Ibig sabihin ba that all Americans are geniuses, unintelligent because they are very good in English? British people are also good in English. Does it mean that all of them are good because they are English communicators? No. English communication should not be a gauge in measuring whether a person is intelligent or not. Pero, number 2, English communication is imperative po kasi in the tri-bureaus, considering that it is an official language. Number 3, the controversy surrounding the social media post that we are dull because we do not know how to speak in English is a wake-up call to all professors, lecturers, instructors, and students alike. We have to do something about this, right? Starting right now, as much as possible, we have to require our students, the moment they get inside, the moment they will set the right foot inside the pillars of the university, they have to be instructed to speak in English, whether the communication is formal or informal. Remember, nasa informal communication, small talks can actually enhance English communication. Just allow them to be grouped into small factions and allow them to speak in English. They can choose any topic that they wanted to. And let them speak in English in that way. Kasi pag tayo, medyo dehado tayo sa English communication, we do not expect that our students will be fluent in the communication. Importante po kasi ito. My plea to everybody, please, let us regain our honor in English, in terms of English communication. But again, there are so many. I have to appreciate those persons who can enunciate words properly. Those persons who can choose the correct diction. Those persons who are good communicators. Those persons who are very good in terms of speaking. They have the confidence to speak in a fluent. I really appreciate them. Hindi po lahat ng mga criminology students are dull. Most of us are actually good communicators. But then again, I'd like to leave the point that English communication po is not a single gauge in the determination of the intelligence of an individual. Alright? So, proofreading. What is the purpose? Para at least malaman ng superior mo na, oy, wrong spelling pala. Yung conscience mo, mali yung spelling. Di ba? Yung conscience, naging conscience. Di ba? Yung pronunciation natin dyan. Or yung crime mo, mali yung spelling. Yung criminology mo, puro letter E. Nako. So, that will help you. Okay? Next, may 5 po tayong types of police records. Una po dito, yung tinatawag nating case record. Ang case records po, mga kadete, are comprised into 2. Number 1, yung complainant or assignment sheet. Tapos yung pangalawa, itong investigation report. Okay? Now, ang complainant or assignment sheet, 2 pong klase yan. Okay? Subtypes po nito. Una, yung lahat po ng complaints and reports received by the police coming from the ordinary citizens of the community, kasali po dyan sa complainant assignment sheet. Yung blotter po, that will contain the complaints coming from the citizens, kasali din po dyan. Pangalawa, yung actions initiated by the police. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng actions initiated by the police? For example, pag nag-dispatch ng crime scene investigation team, ang dispatch ng CSI team, dapat naka-record yan sa police blotter. Or probably, mag-execute ng warrant of arrest or search warrant. Ang pag-execute dyan, dapat it has to be recorded in the blotter. Okay? So again, yung complainant assignment sheet na nasa in the form of blotter, comprises again yan, yung mga una, complaint coming from the citizens. Pangalawa, yung actions taken by the police officer. It's basically a diary inside the Philippine National Police. Number 2, type of case record, itong investigation report. So yung investigation report again, ito po yung mga dokumento na nagdidetalye sa mga resulta or findings sa investigation. So, lahat ng evidence, available facts of the incident should be put in that type of report. Okay? Next, aside from case record, another type of police record is what we call as arrest and booking records. Ang arrest and booking records, ito naman po ang mga records na nag-maintain sa arrest, tapos yung jail booking report, which is required for all persons arrested. Remember mga kadete, may specific jail po under the custody or under the supervision of the PNP. Ang tawag po sa jail na ito is itong lock-up jail. Remember, ang lock-up jail, supervised po yan ng PNP. Okay? Hindi po yan supervised ng BJMP. Ang jurisdiction po ng BJMP is yung city jail, municipal jail, at saka yung district jail. Pero ang lock-up jail, that's within the supervision of the Philippine National Police. So pag may ilagay ka ngayon sa kustodiya, because the person has been temporarily detained, dapat nakalagay po yan sa arrest and booking records. Okay? It is made out in full on each person arrested. It shall bear an arrest number for each arrest made. Pangatlo, identification record. Sa identification record naman, nag-contain po yan ng fingerprints. Okay? Ang fingerprints, remember, tinatawag po siyang cornerstone of identification. Okay? Fingerprint again, cornerstone of identification. It is also known as the heart of any identification system. Pero tandaan, ang fingerprint should be supplemented by a photograph. Okay? Photograph of the person. So, identification records have their own numbers, series. An identification number is assigned to each criminal to identify records relating to him. We will discuss more on identification records later. Next, the fourth one is administrative records. So, pag administrative, ibig sabihin, lahat po ng mga records relating to the personnel of the agency. For example, yung biodata nila, yung resume, yung background, day of promotion, probably they are suspended, or yung lahat ng mga records related po sa mga personnel. Yung assignments nila, lahat disciplinary actions, it shall be part under the administrative records. Such records are so essential in administering personnel matters that they must be maintained in police department. And the last one, yung hindi naman importante, hindi naman siya related sa complaint or investigation, pero informational in nature. Ang tawag po dyan, miscellaneous records. For example, yung phone number on other law enforcement agencies. Okay? Part po yan ng miscellaneous record. Or probably, copy ng Police Operational Procedure or PNP manual, handbook. It's basically a miscellaneous record also. Okay? Yun po ang types of police record. So again, balik tayo sa identification record. We have the fingerprint record, which is the most reliable method of criminal identification. Take note mga kadete ang fingerprint record shall be furnished into 2 copies. Isang kopya po, yung original, shall be maintained in the police department. Yung isang kopya naman shall be sent to the National Bureau of Investigation. So yung kopya po dalawa. Unang kopya yung original sa PNP. Yung other copy should be sent to the National Bureau of Investigation. So yung fingerprint record, it could be yung criminal fingerprint, civilian fingerprint, or yung alien, yung foreigner. Right? The other one is the MO file or the criminal specialty. The modus operandi po. Ibig sabihin, ang record po na ito will describe the mode of operation of the criminal. Alright? So, yun po. On the other hand, balik tayo sa administrative records mga kadete Ano ba yung administrative records? Lahat ng records sa personnel. Tungkol sa background niya, promotion, yung assignment niya, lahat-lahat po andyan nakalagay. Sa administrative records, classified po siya into 4. Una, yung personnel records that will show the history of each police officer prior sa kanyang employment, tapos yung after he has been employed. Pangalawa, correspondence files. Ang correspondence, ibig sabihin, communication yan. It will consist of sets of records of communication classified arranged and filed alphabetically by the subject to which they pertain. Then, number 3, lahat ng memoranda, orders, so on and so forth, they shall be filed accordingly as they are made available. And then, number 4, assignment record, yung record pertaining to the deployment or assignment of police duties. So, for example, ina-assign siya ngayon on the specific post or probably he has been transferred from one unit to the other, part po yan ng assignment record. Now, mga cadets, lastly, I'd like to deal with police blotter. Kung maaari po, considering that this is just a pre-recorded discussion, sa mga estudyante ngayon under investigative report writing, kung maaari we should learn this even though online lang po or pre-recorded discussion lang po ito. I will do my best na you can learn how to make a police blotter. Okay? Ano ba ang police blotter? Ito po yung diary sa PNP. It will record again yung daily events na nangyayari sa PNP, yung actions taken by police personnel at saka yung complaints coming from the citizens. Ang police blotter follows the rule of thumb na dapat magkaroon siya ng 5 Ws and 1 H. Again, ano ba yung 5 Ws and 1 H? Ito po yung cardinal points of investigation. So, a police blotter will contain a material detail concerning the event for legal and statistical purposes. Bakit may statistical purposes? Kasi po, dyan po ang basihan natin sa pag-calculate natin ng index crimes and non-index crimes. At the same time, yan po ang basihan sa pag-calculate natin ng crime volume at saka yung crime rate. Yan din po ang basihan sa pag-calculate natin ng crime clearance efficiency at saka yung crime solution efficiency. So galing yan lahat sa police blotter. Kaya po may statistical significance po siya. Legal kasi magagamit yan in trial or in filing a complaint. Okay? So, paano ba gagawin yan? Dapat may 5 Ws and 1 H. Punta muna tayo. Ano ba yung mga information na dapat i-blotter natin? Andyan po sa screen nyo. Violation of the laws and ordinances, calls for police dispatch or any official actions. Again, sabi ko kanina for example, nag-dispatch ka ng team or nag-execute ang team ng isang warrant, dapat recorded yan sa police blotter. Kasi nga, diary Sunod, legal papers handled such as warrant, subpoenas. Naka-receive ka ng warrant or naka-receive ka ng subpoena for you to enforce. Dapat recorded din po yan. Fire alarms, reports, relevant information received by the office, movement of prisoners, missing properties and persons, vehicular and other types of accident, physical injuries, suicide, blah, 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 and others. So, lahat-lahat po na importante or mga tao na pumupunta sa iyo to complain something, it has to be put into record. Again, punta tayo kung ano po ba ang dapat gawin. Ano ba ang pamamaraan sa pag-craft ng police blotter? Things that you have to remember, dapat may cardinal points of investigation, 5 Ws and 1 H. Only facts, not opinions, are entered in the blotter. O ballpen na gamitin natin sabi ko kanina, blue ink or black. Right? Blue ink or black lang po tayo. Every page in the blotter shall be chronologically filled up. For example, pag entry number mo, 001, dapat ang sunod dyan is 002. Do not skip into 003. Dapat it has to be in chronological order. And one thing, no space shall be left as blank between two entries. Klaro yan walang space in order to avoid probably perjury or probably insertion of another falsification. Next, any development of a case reflected in the blotter should be given a new entry with correct referencing. Alright? Now, there are so many ways in killing the dogs, mga kadete. In the same manner, iba't iba din po ang pamamaraan sa paggawa ng blotter. Iba-iba yung format. For example, as you can see on the screen po, police blotter po yan. Ang format niya, may heading siya, nakalagay what, when, where, who, why, tapos facts of the case, tapos nakalagay dyan, how. Okay? So, ang what niya, robbery incident, when, February 8, 2023, where, Purok 8. Cotabato po ito, who. Who, meaning sino yung involved? Jamila Bantas, Anteng Bantas, and then why? Ano ba yung why? Again, yung rason. So at about 6 o'clock in the morning of February 8, 2023, zoom natin ng konti the municipal police station received a complaint from Bantas residents. This was initially investigated by PO1 Almera Olangkaya, where medyo yung grammar natin is medyo not correct po. So dapat ito, this was initially, dapat ganito, dapat yung second sentence. The initial investigation by PO1 Almera Olangkaya revealed, yan po, para mas grammatically correct po, ha? Yung second sentence po, gagawin nating, the initial investigation by PO1 Almera Olangkaya revealed that on or about 1:30 in the morning, Jamela Bantas, 56 years old, married to Teng Bantas, 57 years old, was sleeping at their sari-sari store along the highway when Jamela Bantas heard a scratch just above the roof. How? Ano ba yung how? Yung mode of operation. Paano nangyari? Jamela told her husband, Teng, that the noise was distracting her sleep. Teng Bantas got his flashlight and switched it on and off to chase away the noise, thinking it was just a rat tampering their things. It was 5:30 a.m. when they witnessed that their income for 2 days and Teng's helmet is missing. Dapat is where po dapat tayo kasi po dalawa eh. Una po dito income and Teng's helmet, plural po kasi. So dapat were missing, okay? They immediately reported to the, I don't know how to pronounce it, Imlang Police Station. The investigation conducted revealed that their sari-sari store had been entered by dapat may unidentified malefactors or malefactor and stole Teng's helmet and cash worth 5,000 pesos. The suspect or suspect were able to fled away after the incident to an identified direction. Anyway, so yun po. Basically, this is the format po. The other format. But I have another format din po on the other police station. Ito po ha. Excerpt lang po ito sa logbook. Time entered, 8 o'clock in the evening. Date entered, March 21. Entered by Police Corporal Tapal, caption, alleged theft. Okay? Mas okay po ito. Reporter, you can notice na wala yung parang what, tapos semicolon. So, diretso siya. Reporter Roland Gravera, Ifardo. Yung wife po dyan is the middle name. 28 years old, male, Filipino, single. Si X is the Pildete installer, born on February 24, 1994 in Taguig City and resident of Romulo Street, Sitio, Pagkakaisa, Barangay, Western Bicota, Taguig City, personally appeared before this office to report and requested to put into record. Yan po, I would suggest na yan po ang gagawin ninyo. Kindly follow the format po about the above incident and transpired on or about March 15 and 16, 2022. Dapat may kama yan. March 16, may kama yan. 16, along Romulo Street, Sitio Pagkaisa, Barangay Western Bicota, Taguig City. Reportee averred that on March 14, 2022, he parked his issued PLDT company car bearing plate number blah 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 unattended at the given address while he went on vacation for 2 days in Batangas. Accordingly, that on March 17, 2022, when reportee gets back home, he discovered that his issued company car battery was already missing. Reportee exerted effort to locate the said battery but all his effort proved futile. So, mas okay po yung sa sikad na pag-construct po ng grammar. So, yung punctuation natin, yung comma, importante po yan, ha? To attest the truth, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Now, ang pinaka-common, which is used by majority of the police stations, is ganito. Makikita po sa blatter natin that are divided into different sections. Una na section, entry number, tapos date, yung time that the blatter was made, time, and then incidents or events, and then disposition. Ang disposition po kung ano yung ginawa mo, anong action na ginawa mo sa complaint. Okay? Ang entry number dito, 2001-45. Okay? Depende po sa inyo ha, kung ano yung entry number na ginamit nyo po ha. For example, pag ang date ngayon is April 4, 2024, probably you will put there 04/04/24. So, depende po sa inyo. Pero, ang importante dyan, dapat sunod-sunod po ha. So, kung 2145, dapat ang sunod dyan, 2046. Right? Next, ito po, robbery. Juanita D. Guzman, 34 years old, buried of number 345 Abilia Street, Barangay Abilia, Naga City, reported to this police office that on about she has awakened with a noise from their kitchen, and when she checked it, she saw the person of Aldrin de Mayoga of minor age, also a resident of their barangay, trying to escape in an open outlet in the comfort room with her laptop. Subject person assaulted her with bladed weapon, but fortunately her father was awakened also and successfully subdued the subject. So again, this is also very good format. So I'd like, if in case mga kadite, ang ginawa nyo po is nasa logbook, mas okay po ang ganitong format kasi po usually in most police stations ito po ang format nila. Dinidivide nila into sections yung blotter nila. Tapos yung unang section yung entry number, date na nagawa ka ng blotter, time, incident, at saka yung disposition. Okay, so yun po ang paggawa ng blotter mga kanina. Importante dito nakalagay yung 5 Ws and 1 H. So let us say for example, ang situation po is let us say alleged theft. Let us say, ninakaw yung cellphone at laptop mo sa loob ng bahay last night. So I suggest po that instead of going directly with the name, you put there Juan de la Cruz. For example, this one ha, Juanita. Bakit lagyan ng Juan? Kasi po, posibleng may iba't ibang Juanita de Guzman. For example, pag Juan de la Cruz, nung araw po, when I was still in high school, tatlo po ang may-ari ng isang name. They have the same family name, they have the same spelling first name, they have the same middle name. So, tatlo po sila. So, mas okay po pag nilagyan mo ng Juan. They say Juan, Juanita D. Guzman, 34 years old, married, residing at number 345 Abilia Street, Barangay Abilia, Naga City, employee of Jollibee or probably Chowking, reported to this police or appeared to this station and requested to put into record on the alleged theft that transpired on the above date and time. Pag nakalagay doon, above date and time mo, is let's say, nangyari siya, May 2, 2013. You say, Mrs. D. Guzman asserted that blah, 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 blah. Tapos ano nang nangyari? So, make it as short as possible po yung paggawa natin. So, yun na po mga kadete ang paggawa ng blood. Napakasimple lang po, alright? So, I'd like to stop in this slide. Maraming salamat po for listening and I hope practice po tayo sa paggawa ng blotter, sa paggawa ng investigative report. Maraming salamat po and stand by po for the episode 2. God bless everyone.